I'm Jeremy. Today's day 427 of reading Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Let's get started. I'm currently on page 423. Let's go lock in. Who you been talking to? Who's told you that who said I've been? We guessed, said Hermione apologetically. Oh, you did you? Said Hagrid, surveying her sternly with the eye that was not hidden by the stake. It was kind of obvious, said Ron. Harry nodded. Hagrid glared at them, then snorted, threw the stake onto the table again, and strode back to the kettle, which was now whistling. Never known kids like you three for knowing more than you oughta, he muttered, splashing boiling water into 3 of his bucket-shaped mugs. And I'm not complimenting you neither. Nosy, some call it, interfering. But his beard twitched. So you have been to look for giants? Said Harry, grinning as he sat down at the table. Hagrid set tea in front of each of them, sat down, picked up his stake again, and slapped it back over his face. Yeah, all right, he grunted. I have. And you found them? Said Hermione in a hushed voice. Well, they're not that difficult to find, to be honest, said Hagrid. Pretty big, see? Where are they? Said Ron. Mountains, said Hagrid unhelpfully. So why don't muggles? They do, said Hagrid darkly. Only their deaths are always put down to mountaineering accidents, aren't they? He adjusted the stake a little so that it covered the worst of the bruising. Come on, Hagrid, tell us what you've been up to. Tell us about being attacked by giants, and Harry can tell about being attacked by Dementors. Hagrid choked on his mug and dropped his stake at the same time. A large quantity of spit, tea, and dragon blood was sprayed over the table as Hagrid coughed and spluttered as the stake slid with a soft splat onto the floor. What do you mean? Attacked by Dementors? Growled Hagrid. Didn't you know? Hermione asked him, wide-eyed. I don't know anything that's been happening since I left. I was on a secret mission, wasn't I? Yeah, I didn't want owls following me all over the place. Ruddy Dementors! You're not serious? Yeah, I am. They turned up in Little Winging and attacked my cousin and me. And then the Ministry of Magic expelled me. What? And I had to go to a hearing and everything. But tell us about the giants first. You were expelled? Tell us about your summer and I'll tell you about mine. Hagrid glared at him through his one open eye. Harry looked right back, an expression of innocent determination on his face. Oh, all right, Hagrid said in a resigned voice. He bent down and tugged the dragon stake out of Fang's mouth. Oh, Hagrid, don't. It's not hygiene, Hermione began, but Hagrid had already slapped the meat back over his swollen eye. He took another fortifying gulp of tea and then said, Well, we set off right after the term ended. Madame Maxime went with you, then? Hermione interjected. Yeah, that's right, said Hagrid, and a softened expression appeared on the few inches of face that were not obscured by beard or green stake. Yeah, it was just a pair of us, and I'll tell you this, she's not afraid of roughing it, You know, she's a fine, well-dressed woman, and knowing where we was going, I wondered how she would feel about clambering over buildings and sleeping in caves and that, but she never complained once. You knew where you were going? Harry repeated. You knew where the giants were? Well, Dumbledore knew, and he told us, said Hagrid. Are they hidden? said Ron. Is it a secret where they are? Not really, said Hagrid, shaking his shaggy head. It's just most wizards aren't bothered by where they are, as long as it's a good long way away. But where they are is very difficult to get to, for humans anyways. So we needed Dumbledore's instructions. Took us about a month to get there. A month? Said Ron, as though he had never heard of a journey lasting such a ridiculously long time. But why couldn't you just grab a portkey or something? There was an odd expression in Hagrid's obscured eye as he surveyed Ron. It was almost pitying. We're being watched, Ron said. He said gruffly. What do you mean? You don't understand, said Hagrid. The Ministry's keeping an eye on Dumbledore and anyone they reckon's in league with him. And "We know about that," said Harry quickly, keen to hear the rest of Hagrid's story. "We know about the Ministry of Magic watching Dumbledore." "So you couldn't use magic to get there?" asked Ron, looking thunderstruck. "You had to act like muggles all the way?" "Well, not exactly all the way," said Hagrid cagily. "We just had to be careful. Since Olymp and me, we stick out a bit." Ron made a stifled noise somewhere between a snort and a sniff and hastily took a gulp of tea. "So we're not hard to follow. We was pretending we was going on holiday together, so we got into France and we made like we was heading for where Olympus School is. 'Cause we know we was being tailed by someone from the ministry. We had to go slow, 'cause I'm not really supposed to use magic, and we knew the ministry'd be looking for a reason to run us in, but we managed to give the Burke telling us to slip around about Dijon." "Ooh, Dijon? Dijon?" said Hermione excitedly. "I've been there on holiday. Did you see?" She fell silent at the look on Ron's face. "We chanced a bit o' magic after that, and it wasn't a bad journey. Ran into a couple o' mad trolls on the Polish border, and I had a slight disagreement with the vampire in a pub in Minsk, but apart from that, it couldn't have been smoother. And then we reached the place, and we started trekking up through the mountains, looking for signs of them. We had to lay off the magic once we got near them, partly 'cause they don't like wizards, and we don't want to put their backs up too soon, and partly because Dumbledore had warned us you know who was bound to be after the giants and all. Said it was odds he'd sent a messenger off to them already. Told us to be very careful of drawing attention to ourselves as we got near in case there were Death Eaters around." Hagrid paused for a long draught of tea. "Go on," said Harry urgently. "Found him," said Hagrid boldly. "Went over a ridge one night, and there they was, spread out underneath us, little fires burning below huge shadows. It was like watching bits o' the mountain moving." "How big are they?" asked Ron in a hushed voice. "About 20 feet, said Hagrid casually. "Some of the bigger ones might have been 20 feet. 25. "And how many were there?" said Harry. "I reckon about 70 or 80, said Hagrid. "Is that all?" said Hermione. "Yup," said Hagrid sadly. 80 left. And there was loads once. Must have been 100 different tribes from all over the world. But they've been dying out for ages. Wizards killed a few, of course, but mostly they killed each other. And now they're dying out faster than ever. They're not made to live bunched up together like that. Dumbledore says it's our fault. It was the wizards who forced them to go and made them live a good long way from us, and they had no choice but to stick together for their own protection." "So," said Harry, "you saw them, and then what?" "Oh, we waited till morning. Didn't want to go sneaking up on them after dark, for our safety," said Hagrid. "About 3 a.m, they fell asleep, just where they were sitting. We didn't dare sleep. For one thing, we wanted to make sure none of them woke up and came up where we were, and for another, the snoring was unbelievable, caused an avalanche near morning. Anyway, once it was light, we went down to see "Just like that?" said Ron, looking awestruck. "You just walked right into a giant camp?" "Well, Dumbledore told us how to do it," said Hagrid. "Give the Gurg gifts, and show some respect, you know." "Give the what gifts?" said Harry. "Oh, the Gurg. It means the chief." "How could you tell which one was the Gurg?" said Ron. Hagrid grunted in amusement. "No problem," he said. "He was the biggest, the ugliest, and the laziest, sitting there waiting to be brought food by the others. Dead goats and such like. Nemo carcass. I put him at 22, 23 feet, and the weight of a couple o' bull elephants. Skin like rhino hide and all." "And you just walked up to him?" said Hermione breathlessly. "Well, down to him, where he was lying in the valley. They was in this dip between 4 pretty high mountains, see, beside a mountain lake, and Carcass was lying by the lake roaring at the others to feed him and his wife. Olymp and I went down the mountainside. Thank you, everyone. That's all for today. Bye. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to read page 428. Bookmark, close. Peace out.